television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate of Oman expresses its condemnation of the shooting incident in the city of Sataniye in the Republic of Montenegro and affirms its firm position in rejecting all forms of violence and terrorism. And dozens of Palestinians killed and injured in a series of Israeli raids on different areas in Gaza. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Sultanate of Oman expressed its condemnation of the shooting incident in the city of Sataniye in the Republic of Montenegro, which resulted in deaths and injuries. The Sultanate of Oman expressed its sincere condolences to the government of Montenegro and the families of the victims, wishing the injured a speedy recovery. In a statement issued by the Foreign Ministry, the Sultanate of Oman reiterated its firm stance in rejecting all forms of violence and terrorism, regardless of their motives and causes. Dozens of Palestinians were killed and injured in a series of Israeli raids last night targeting various areas in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian medical sources said that a Palestinian was killed in an Israeli raid that targeted his home in the Sabra neighborhood in Gaza City. In the center of the Strip, 9 Palestinians from one family were killed in an Israeli occupation bombing of a house in the Maghazi camp. Meanwhile, 2 children were also killed in an Israeli airstrike that targeted an apartment in the Nusirat camp. Elsewhere, in the city of Deir el-Balah, 4 Palestinians were killed and others were injured in an occupation bombing of a house west of the city. The UN Security Council will hold an emergency session later today to discuss developments in the Middle East, including the Palestinian cause. The session will address the Israeli attacks on health facilities in Gaza, the latest of which was the targeting of Kamal Adwan Hospital in the northern Gaza Strip. The session is being held at the request of Algeria, which has assumed the rotating presidency of the UN Security Council for January. The strong supporter of Palestine, Algeria, indicated that during this month, an open session on Palestine will also be held at the ministerial level, in addition to a special session on the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA. Russia launched a barrage of drones in an overnight attack on Ukraine, killing 1 civilian and injuring 4 others in the Kyiv region, according to military and regional officials. Ukrainian Air Force said its air defenses shot down 60 out of 93 Russian drones. It also said that 26 drones were lost, adding that 1 Russian drone was still in the air. The acting governor for the Kyiv region said a truck driver was killed by drone debris. He added that the debris also damaged several private houses, injuring 4 people. The Air Force said that the Russian drones targeted 9 Ukrainian regions across the country. The military said residential houses and commercial buildings were damaged in the Donetsk region in the east and the Chernihiv region in the north. The Israeli Occupation Air Force violated the ceasefire agreement with Lebanon with more than 1 raid on the heights of Al-Rayhan and Iqlim al-Tufah in southern Lebanon. This is the first air aggression that the Iqlim al-Tufah area has been subjected to since the ceasefire last November. The Israeli occupation forces continue to violate the ceasefire agreement despite the formation of the 5-member committee to supervise the agreement, the mechanism. The occupation forces are still present in some areas of the south, despite the ceasefire agreement coming into effect on November 27, after the war in Lebanon expanded last September with the Israeli aggression launching violent airstrikes on various Lebanese regions, causing the death of thousands of civilians and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of them. As the agreement allowing Russian gas transit through Ukraine to Europe expires on Tuesday, concerns are mounting about potential energy price hikes. The current 5-year contract for gas transit will not be renewed next year, as the Ukrainian president has made clear. Analysts warn that the shutdown of this pipeline could drive up natural gas prices in Europe, leading to heightened living expenses and ultimately undermining the competitiveness of the European economy. Ukrainian President Zelensky reaffirmed the country's refusal to extend the transit agreement after meeting with the EU leaders in Brussels on the 19th of December. On the same day, the Russian president confirmed that there would be no new deal with Kyiv, and Russia may consider other gas transmission routes, such as transiting Poland. The Brazilian Amazon forests witnessed a record increase in the number of fires in 2024, recording the largest number in 17 years as a result of severe drought waves that lasted for months. According to the Brazilian National Institute for Space Research, satellite images revealed an increase in fires in 2024 by more than 42% compared to 2023, a record number since 2007. The Amazon region is affected by drought due to climate change caused by human activity and the El Niño climate phenomenon. Scientists also warn that continued deforestation will put the Amazon region on the path of emitting more carbon than it absorbs, which will accelerate climate change. Still to come in our news bulletin. Artists from 13 countries gathered for 3rd Al-Khadra International Sculpture Symposium in the Wilaya of Al-Mudaybi. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. With more than 1 million Omani riyals, the Office of the Governor of South Al-Batina signed a group of investment contracts for various tourism and commercial projects with several institutions. The signed agreements aim to support and develop economic projects that achieve added value for the local community in the governorate and contribute to providing sustainable job opportunities. They also reflect the commitment of the concerned authorities to achieve a balance between investment and social development by selecting projects that are in line with the needs of the community. The agreements were signed by His Excellency Engineer Masoud bin Saeed Al-Hashimi, Governor of South Al-Batina, with representatives of private sector institutions and companies. The second edition of Al-Dhahira Tourism Festival was launched in the Wilaya of Ibri. The month-long festival includes a heritage village, arts performances, and entertainment venues that appeal to all ages. The opening ceremony, which witnessed a great turnout from citizens and tourists, was held under the auspices of His Excellency Najib bin Ali Al-Rawas, Governor of Al-Dhahira. 14 artists from 13 countries gathered for 3rd Al-Khadra International Sculpture Symposium held in the Wilaya of Al-Mudaybi in North Al-Sharqiyya Governorate. Here is a report about this inspiring event.
Sculptors from 13 countries spanning Russia, Spain, Argentina, Turkey, Egypt, and beyond came together in the Wilaya of Al-Mudaybi in the North Al-Sharqiyya Governorate for the 3rd Al-Khadra International Sculpture Symposium to showcase a blend of talent, culture, and creativity.
For me, it's the first time in Oman, and it was a challenge to come to visit this place and to understand the culture of Oman and to understand the stone, to see how it works with the sculpture. And for me, it is of a great pleasure. And also this way I develop artistically, meeting other people, socially. It's a nice event that gathers artists from different places, cultures, and that's the most important.
The sculpture symposium stood as a testament to the power of art to transcend borders and foster creative collaboration to sculpt enduring works of art with cultural richness.
I'm present here my art with this project. It's title of Rest of Sun, about what it's some time need for everything go to rest. Shortly I can explain this. So first I want to say about, in any country I participate in many symposiums, so I want to say about Oman. It's first what it's surprised that it's so people so kind here and very polite and good educated at the same time. So for me this is a huge surprise.
During many years I was interested to participate here in Oman. You say we have a big family of sculptors, big family, believe me. We support each other, and always it's hilarious when we have the possibility to meet again with them. Well, finally I am here. I think it's like each one of us. We are something similar an embassy.
The organizers expressed their aspirations to establish Oman's first museum for contemporary sculpture, a monumental space to celebrate creativity and ensure these artistic treasures remain a part of Oman's legacy for generations to come. The sculptors here have carved not just art, but stories of unity, heritage, and a shared vision of beauty. Reporting from the Wilaya of Al-Mudaybi, this is Saleh Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, North Al-Sharqiyya, Governorate.
With advanced technology and the help of AI, scientists are increasingly discovering proof that many animals are much smarter than previously thought. From self-medicating great apes to elephants that call one another by individual names, the wonderful world of nature was full of fascinating discoveries throughout 2024. Here is a report.
They say elephants never forget, but in June 2024, scientists reported that these majestic social creatures are so clever, they can even call each other using unique names. The report in Nature Ecology and Evolution recorded data on African savanna elephants responding to individual names. The names are in the form of low rumbles that can be heard over long distances across the savanna. Biologists used machine learning to detect the use of names in a sound library of elephant vocalizations recorded at Kenya's Samburu National Reserve and Amboseli National Park. Researchers studying the sperm whales that live around the Caribbean island of Dominica described for the first time the basic elements of how they might be talking to each other in an effort that could one day help better protect them. Like many whales and dolphins, sperm whales are highly social mammals and communicate by squeezing air through their respiratory systems to make strings of rapid clicks that can sound like an extremely loud zipper underwater. Out of the wild, many dog owners have the sense that their pets understand human language more than just simple commands. They don't only respond to verbal cues like sit and stay, but also ones that refer to their favorite toys, the car, and even the path. The experiments, which were conducted on 18 dogs, showed a different brain pattern when the dogs were shown an object which matched a verbal cue than when it did not match, suggesting that the animals conjured a mental image on an object based on hearing its name and reacted when they saw something different than they expected.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate of Oman expresses its condemnation of the shooting incident in the city of Satinye in the Republic of Montenegro and affirms its firm position in rejecting all forms of violence and terrorism. And dozens of Palestinians killed and injured in a series of Israeli raids on different areas in Gaza. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night, and we hope you have an enjoyable weekend.